Biafra, superstars, media.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Biafra Superstars Media. Today, I present to you a man who wishes to speak about the forthcoming protest and the ploy of the Lagos State government to introduce the Oro Festival in a bid to stop the Lagos protest. Before I introduce this man, I wish to speak to my brother and advise him to allow the dead to bury the dead. I understand you are in the zoo. I understand you feel the hardship, the credit crunch going on in the zoo. But I would like to advise my brother who is about to speak to please focus on Biafra. Give what belongs to Nigeria, and to Biafra. Even though I have promised not to influence you in speaking, even though I have promised to give you 100% freedom to pick your topics and share with the people. But at the same time, my dear brother, I wish to advise that you allow the dead to bury the dead. We know the games that the zoo they play. We know the politics. We know the antics of Jagaban and those they call the Afonjas. If they did it in the governorship election in Lagos, they would do it again in your so-called protest. Well, as the saying goes, there are different ways to skin a cat. So at this time, me and my people, me and my Biafran people, we shall sit back and observe the so-called protest of those who are fighting to end bad governance in the Zoo Republic. What we are looking for, my brother, is Biafra. We are not fighting for good governance in that zoo called Nigeria. We are not fighting to hold the politicians accountable in that zoo called Nigeria. We are not fighting for equality and the so-called rule of law in that zoo called Nigeria. We, the Biafrans, we are done with Nigeria. What we are seeking is a total divorce from the contraption that was created by Britain. But today, I will give you the freedom to speak your mind. I know you are in the zoo. You are going through hardship in the zoo. You are feeling the credit crunch in the zoo. Perhaps it's a good time for you to remind us, those of us living in diaspora, it might be the right time to remind us of what is going on in the zoo. Because come what may, from the 2nd of December, the Nigeria you know today, my brother, you shall know no more. Without any further ado, I present to you my good friend, the Biafran golden child, the real Biafran golden child, as he speaks about the plot of the Lagos State government to stop the forthcoming protest from the 1st of August to the 15th of August. Ladies and gentlemen, the Biafran golden child. Thank you.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm Biafra, the golden child. Thank you. 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 T depending on where you're hearing my voice from. This is the Biafra Golden Child, and I'm super happy once again to use the Biafra Superstar media to interact with our people. Yes, I'm always happy when I have the opportunity to, you know, expatiate or discuss certain things with our people or bring to their cognizance recent developments. So I'm happy to have this opportunity, like I said, provided by the Biafra Superstar Media. You know, yes. My audio for today will be focusing on the Oro Festival. Yes, the Oro Festival that Lagosians or Lagos residents were, suddenly intimated about 2 weeks ago. Yes, if you all recall, there was a public service announcement, both in the radio, in the media, the mass media, even on social media, where there was a major announcement about the oncoming Oro Cultural Festival. If you didn't hear it, if you didn't see it, please permit me to read the announcement to you. It goes thus. Public announcement. Attention, residents and visitors of Lagos. Please be informed that the Oro Festival will be observed in various communities across Lagos from August 1st to August 15th, 2024. This traditional Yoruba cultural event involves significant rituals and processions which are integral to the community's spiritual practices. Important guidelines. Restricted movement. Women and participants are required to stay indoors after dark during the festival period. Road closures. Certain roads and areas may be affected, may be affected to accommodate the festival activities. Safety precautions. Adhere to the stay at home. Keep away from dark periods or dark hours for your own safety. That was the announcement, and it was it went very viral across the mass media, the social media, and everybody is talking about it. So, but what my concern is, why I decided to highlight this audio, is that this oral festival, yes, it's a cultural one. Yes, everybody has their right, inalienable right, to observe their culture and traditions. But it tickles my fancy and it worries me that this oral festival is coming at a time when every Nigerian or the protesters that have told the government that they are going to embark on a peaceful protest as end bad government, hunger protest between the 1st of August to starting from the 1st of August. And so it really baffles my mind why this kind of coincidence is occurring at this time. Why would the oral cultural practice be suddenly um, uh, uh, want to commence the very 1st of August, that protesters are going to take over the cities and states of Nigeria? Is this a deliberate policy to undermine the protest? Is this an indirect way of marginalizing the protesters? Is it equally a ploy to expose the protesters to certain harm? Maybe again, it is an attempt to intimidate and create fear among the protesters, because people have recalled how and narrated how most of this oral festival thing, overall festival occasions have actually led to the death of innocent and unsuspecting members of the public. And so it created a lot of worry and has become a source of debate, you know, debate amongst the various uh, 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 mass media, individuals, and people that think it is worthwhile to ponder on this very strange development. May we please recall that during the governorship election, all of a sudden, equally, this Oro festival came to limelight because suddenly these practitioners of cultural practices, cultural religion, came up again and warned the general public to adhere to strict regulations and safety precautions because they were going to have their Oro festival. There's no gain in retelling the story that because of that so-called Oro festival, at that point when the governorship elections were going on, a lot of people could not come out. Political parties could not congregate. They couldn't have meetings. They couldn't meet together to strategize. They were kept indoors. And those who tried to come out were unfortunately met with unforeseen circumstances. They were met with terrible situations that I may not want to even start talking about. In fact, a lot of people were brutalized, were maimed, were severely wounded, and experienced all sorts of trauma. And so, unfortunately, that election was thwarted and was very had a very low turnout because people had given up. I mean, when your life was threatened, when you were told that if you came out and you were seen at all times, you could have, serious consequences done to your health or to your life. Nobody wanted to be a victim. Nobody wanted to, be a victim of circumstances or a victim of oral festival. And so this current time, this new dimension at exactly this kind of time of the year, especially because of the end bad government protest that have already been earmarked for 1st August. When we hear this kind of announcements and pronouncements from people loyal to, the government of uh, Lagos State Governor and maybe friends of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu saying they want to observe Oro Festival. I think this is going too far. Yes, I know it's not every Yoruba man who is interested in observing this so-called Oro Festival. I know it's not every Yoruba man who would want to truncate this end bad government protest because we have heard a lot of Yoruba people come out, well-meaning Yoruba people have come out and said, no, the suffering is too much. No, the hunger is too much. No, things cannot be like this. We don't want things to continue this way. The government cannot be sensitive to the plight of Nigerians. I mean, the poverty in the land is ground shaking. The corruption in the land is skyrocketed. Poverty and lack have become a synonymous thing with living in Nigeria. People cannot eat. People cannot afford drinkable water. Families are going, in fact, a lot of people are dying because of poverty and lack. And unfortunately, with the incident, the high rise of cholera where people are stooling because they ate rubbish, because they ate contaminated food, has become so rampant. People are dying from cholera. And all this tantamounts to, no money in the pocket, to poverty in the land, to bad government, to food shortages, inability to afford, you know, basic essentialities of life. And so it's very unfortunate that this is the time that when Nigerians have decided to go on a strike, to go on a protest, and create an awareness all over the world that Nigerians are living in abject poverty and ruin. Create an awareness all over the world that people are living in, squalid conditions. People are living in conditions never unprecedented in this country. People have never had it this bad. People have never seen it this rough. I mean, following the removal of the fuel subsidy from the inception of the inauguration of this current administration, from the very day the administration was inaugurated, poverty, hardship have taken over the land. People can no longer afford fuel, and this has increased the cost of transportation. This has affected movement of foods from rural areas to urban areas. This has affected everything about this country, such that food prices have skyrocketed. People can no longer feed. The poor man is begging here and there. People are falling here and there. I mean, people can no longer afford their houses. A lot of people cannot go to job from the location of their homes down to where they work because of the high cost of transportation. People can no longer afford medicines in the hospitals. I mean, augmentin, uh, uh, augmentin, other antibiotics have gone far away from the common man. And so people are asking, when will this stop? Is this how it's going to be? Have this administration come to signal the end of Nigeria? Are we going to continue like this, living hand to mouth? Even though hand to mouth is no longer an option. People are dying on a daily basis. People are relocating to villages because they can no longer afford to stay in the townships. The government is playing the ostrich. The government is insensible to the plight of the people. They talk of palliatives. Nobody is saying the palliative. High cost of living, dollar rising astronomically, the naira falling so terribly that even people from neighboring Cotonou, people from Niger, I mean, these malams that used to come here and fetch water for Nigerians, the malams that used to come here and become megads, the malams that, do odd jobs in Nigeria who come from neighboring West African countries, Niger, Chad, uh, Mali, Burkina Faso, they have fled Nigeria. They have fled because even the Sefer, the Sefer that was like nothing in financial matters, in financial environment, is now almost, you know, 10 times, 20 times, 30 times more than the value of the Naira. And so when you see the man you call Aboki, the Nigerian man who used to fetch water for you, the man who used to be your security man, if you now call him, he's looking at you and wondering what you're calling him for. When you have a failed Naira, a Naira that cannot buy him even bread, Naira that cannot buy the lowest Sefer in his country. And so Nigerians are wondering, is this how it is? Is this what Emiloko means? Is this what this gentleman means by it is my turn? And so they have said, we are not going to have this continue. We want to create an awareness. We'll do a massive protest, nationwide protest. Let the whole world see that Nigeria is actually dying, that Nigeria has become a failed country. They want the whole world to see that don't think because bulletproof SUVs are imported from your countries. Don't think because these politicians and leaders are going running to your country every other day for medical trips, for holidaying, for short rests, and for buying houses and mansions they may never live in. Don't think because they send their children to schools in your, ivory towers, in your citadels of learning overseas, paying in hard currency, money pilfered from the common purse of this country, paying huge dollars, thousands of dollars for tuition fees and all that for their children and wards. Don't think that is the story. Come and see the real story in Nigeria. Come and see where these senators, these governors, these political appointees, come and see where they are, the country where they live in. And they come to your country, they stay in highbrow hotels, five-star hotels, day in, day out, back to back. They are staying in ivory hotels, living large, spending money like money was paper. Come and see their country. Come and see the condition of their roads. Come and see the condition of their people. People are dying, living in poverty and ruin. People are living in poverty. Corruption has condemnism at the order of the day. Corruption has become the second name of Nigeria because of graft, because of people who have insatiable appetite for stealing. They have stolen monies for their generation. They have stolen monies for generations since unborn, and they're still stealing billions and trillions for 10 generations from now. What are they doing with all these stolen wealth? Meanwhile, they tell the people to bear with us. They tell them to manage. They tell them to, it will soon be over. When will it be over? When people are dying? When people are buried? When people have all become sick and malnourished? A lot of people are suffering. Kwashoko has come back to the land. Children are seen now with big heads, pot bellies, tiny legs, and all that. Parents are running helter-skelter looking for how to feed their children. Foods that are abominations to touch, used to be abominations to touch those days, have become the staple of families. I mean, there are varieties of cocoyam that are not eaten. Now people are eating them. There are varieties of cassava that people ordinarily should not eat because it was poisonous to their system. Now they have devised an antidote, what to add to it to make their children eat it. People have resorted to killing lizards now. People have resorted to killing rodents once again, fire at birds with catapults just to see some source of protein. A lot of people are in the hospitals, they cannot afford ordinary medicines because of the high cost of medicines. The teaching hospitals cannot admit patients suffering from cholera because of bad water, because of bad food, because of wrong nutrition. And what does the government tell us to do? That we should keep managing. We should keep bearing with them. We should give them some time. And they're buying private jets. Give them some time. They're buying private jets that runs into multi-billions. Give them some time. They're buying SUVs bulletproof from Japan. Give them some time. They're buying houses all over the world. Houses they will never live in. In fact, recently, Dubai published some names of people who have acquired properties, massive properties in Dubai. And Dubai government was like, we are going to make these names public because we see that some of these people are government officials who we wonder how an individual can be buying five houses at a sitting, back to back, five houses in highbrow areas in Dubai. Even if your father owns a gold mine, even if you own a gold mine, you shouldn't be doing this. They know it is graft. They know it is corruption. They know it is ill-gotten money. And they say they are going to expose all of this. And so when people want to come out, Nigerians are tired. The rest of youths have come out and said, look, it's enough. Enough is enough. We cannot continue to live this way. No, certainly we cannot. Our parents who sent us to school, who expect us to be gainfully employed and provide for them, are still providing to us after leaving school. A lot of children, 35, 40 years, are still living with their parents, waiting for their parents to die so they sell their properties. Is that how a country should run? No, no, certainly not. Certainly not. The youth said, no, enough is enough. We are coming out. Let the world hear our voice. This is our chance to tell the world our story. Nationwide, we're coming out. And they're beckoning on every freedom lover, every person who is feeling the poverty and the suffering and the hardship. We can no longer continue in the song of Fela and Nicola Pokuti, the Abamiada, who cannot continue in his song, suffering and smiling. No, enough is enough. And so when these youth said they're coming out, what did we see? All of a sudden, the Oro Festival has been touted to commence on the very 1st of August. I mean, what has happened to the black man? What has happened to the African man? What has happened to the Nigerian man? How can any right thinking person, even if you love the president so much, even if you are his friend and crony, why would you want to truncate this peaceful protest that is commencing on the 1st of August? Why would you want to threaten people, intimidate them, and tell them, don't go on because of a festival that can possibly maim you, that can possibly harm you, that can possibly kill you. Stay at home. Women, stay at home. Children, stay at home. Visitors, stay at home. Non-worshippers of a Oro festival, stay at home. I mean, this is not fair. But I'm happy. A lot of well-meaning Yoruba people have come out to say, no, we are Yorubas. But this Oro festival is not a Yoruba thing. It's not going to be, to deter us. We will still come out. They are calling on people, don't be deterred. It's not every Yoruba man who is talking about the Oro festival. It's not every Yoruba man who wants this happen. These are cronies, friends and cronies, lovers of Ashwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who want to see if they can use this so-called Oro festival, this cultural practice that inhibits movements, cultural practice that want women to stay aside, inside, cultural practice that will not brook any meetings, any gatherings, any random movement, just to intimidate the protesters. Well, I think Nigeria has gotten to a point now where everybody knows the truth. People have known the truth, and some people are bold enough to say the truth. We know most certainly that this so-called oral festival and whatever implications it has for movement, for residents in Lagos, will be totally managed, hopefully, by the law enforcement officers if they want to be sincere, by the army if they want to do their job, by the police if they want to do the job. Nobody is against Emilio Kong. Nobody is against their principal. Nobody is against their Shuaju. But what we're saying is that Nigerians deserve a better treatment. We have suffered in the 8 years of the Buhari regime, and we thought this one would be a breath of fresh air. Sincerely, a lot of people believed that Bola Tinubu's government would have ushered in all manners of happiness, goodness, prosperity, jollification, all manners of good tidings to Nigeria. But because so much was expected, we expected so much from a man who said, Emilio Kong, it is my turn. A man who has said everywhere, I must take over. It is my turn. And so a lot of people expected so much. But it is like the proverb where they say an elephant was pregnant and everybody was wondering, waiting to behold the gigantic baby that will come out from its womb. But alas, alas, what happened? On the fateful day of delivery, what we saw was a rat, a tiny rat coming out from the womb of the elephant. From the elephant. That is what the Tinubu, the Miloko administration has foisted on Nigerians. That is what we have experienced. All the much touted promises. I will make Nigeria El Dorado. There will be no need to go to foreign medical hospitals. All our hospitals will be equipped. Our roads will be wow, super, super solid. We'll build houses for residents. We'll do that. We'll do this. We'll increase salaries. We'll create employment, massive employment. Our widows will not suffer. Our pensioners, their gratuities will be paid. Our teachers will be smiling to the classroom. Children will be giving them a lunch per day. But what have we seen? What have we seen? Nothing tangible on the ground. Nothing to behold. Nothing to be proud of. Instead, Nigerians have been subjected to the highest level of poverty and lack. Nigerians have been subjected to gargantuan hardship and difficulty. Who do you turn to? Who will save us? Perhaps this end bad government protest, earmarked for 1st August 2024, will be a right step in the right direction. Perhaps it will be a panacea. The protest might be a panacea to bad government, to hunger and poverty, to hardship, to dollar fluctuations, to naira devaluation. Perhaps, so we hope. Above all things, I beg my Igbo brothers all freedom lovers of Biafra, everybody who is hearing my voice, be very careful on what we do. Take care of your health. Take care of your life. Don't confront them, so-called Oro Festival. Don't be in their midst. Avoid them and take care of yourself. We are hoping that things will really improve. We are hoping things will get better. This protest, hopefully, will signal the beginning of many things to come. Who knows? I'm not a prophet. I can't make predictions. But I bet you, I believe that a lot of things will come out of this, hopefully. But equally, I want to encourage us to also remember our United States of Biafra. This is some of the reasons, all these things above that I've talked about are the reasons why we should clamor, and come round, be with our man, our Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa. Let's encourage him. Let's do everything possible to make 2nd December 2024 a reality. We're also praying and we're hoping we should continue to discuss, we should continue to insist that our maximum leader, Nnamdi Kanu, will be released from the collars of the DSS and set free in Nigeria. We're looking forward once again, 2nd December 2024. God bless United States of Biafra. God bless our Nnamdi Kanu, our maximum leader. God empower and strengthen our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa. Thank you and God bless you all. Bye-bye.
Yeah, check me out. Superstars Media. Lord Lugard, let me turn Lord Lugard. And it's why Flora show 1914 amalgamation is what we dying for. 3 nations to 1 nation. Ever since annihilation, nepotism is nonsense. You and you, clap your hands. Biafra gonna come, clap your hands. Biafra, Oduduwa, we're free now. Freedom is gonna come, we're free now. Yeah.